Took me a while to come around to this idea of guitar plugins, but for months and months and months now, it's been kind of a staple part of my workflow. I wanted to talk to you today about the plugin which I use for pretty much everything, and it's going to be Helix native. There's no surprise there anymore, but let's jump into that.
This channel is supported by TrueFire. TrueFire is an online library of lessons from some of my favourite players. There's thousands of lessons on there. You can use the promo code JNC40 to get 40% off of any of their courses. Okay, the one downside that I would say with Helix Native is that it doesn't look anywhere near as inviting as your, stuff that you're used to in terms of the plugin world. So in terms of like selling it to you, I don't think it's particularly easy. There's one thing that makes it a little bit kind of more inviting, but I think this is actually one of the strengths of it versus some other plugins. So a lot of other plugins are pretty much fixed signal paths. In terms of doing dual ampings and anything like that, you're a little bit limited. And then also in terms of being able to use this thing with a piece of hardware. So typically for me, I might use these, every day, the Helix Native, come in and use it. But I'm using more or less often presets which I have access to on my HX Stomp or on my full Helix. So for instance, if you're looking Soldano tones, we've got Soldano in here. If you're looking for PV5150 tones, i.e. something that you could get in your DSP, you've got those in here. You've got a load of original stuff, like the Line 6 stuff, Diesel, all the things that you'd need, way more versatile than any other plugin, basically. So yeah, it's Soldano right now. obviously, like, that's stuff that we're kind of used to plugins doing quite a good job of already, but I think if you're looking for more options in terms of interesting effects, then Helix Native basically has you covered in that area far more than any other plugin that I'm aware of. If you can think of anything else that can do this sort of thing, please do feel free to leave a comment. But, you know, reverse delays, tape delays, interesting kind of glitch delays and stuff like that. So lots of weird effects. I swear the glitch delay used to work a bit differently to how it does these days, but it kind of is what it is. Duck delays, you know, normal kind of things that you see a lot of. Another thing that I quite like to do is use it as a load box for kind of like an amp going in. So I use whatever amp I've got over in the corner, put it onto a Fractal X load and then load it in via this load box vibes, which has 2 cabs and then my own personal kind of delay and reverb settings. I really like that for like a silent solution, and you know, that works perfectly well for me. But in general, I don't know, to me it's just a plugin that more people should know about. It's got so many things going for it. Also, if you're looking for something that does really good pitch shifting, you should know about this. So let's just load this down to 2A and Polycapo. I've compared this to like Digitech Drop and stuff like that. It compares incredibly well. just great. In terms of a full suite of what you would need to get good tones out of your kind of digital audio workstation with nothing else, I think Helix Native for me still remains the most underrated piece of plugin software there is. Worth noting that to get your most accurate tones, you're going to consider turning or starting with the input gain on your interface at 0. That's probably best practice now. Start off at that point at least. It may not be as fully accurate as you need to get in terms of like different plugins and different input levels, but that's close enough that you are not going to be doing anything crazy, and then things should be a little bit more like what you might expect. Yeah, so that's one thing that really made Helix Native a lot more usable for me, was having a baseline where I just have my interface set to 0 on the gain, which doesn't mean actually 0, it just means there's not like a gain boost happening on there. And that actually enabled me to get tones way closer to actually what I get out of the HX Stomp and out of the Helix. The main difference for me is the interface is a little bit brighter, but that kind of translates as having a bit more clarity. So in some ways I've learned to kind of prefer that anyway. But yeah, access to all sorts of great amps, including like the Friedman. Access to train wrecks. I think it's hugely underrated. Let me know if you agree, disagree in the comments. Catch you in another video soon. All of these presets you see are available in the general presets folder. £5 up on Gumroad if you want to try those out. Cheers for stopping by.